Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game scheduled for Sunday, August 10th, 2025. Now, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put those baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday, Major League Baseball. We've got the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. We've got Zach Littell and Mike Burrows as the starters. Zach Littell was really sharp in his Reds debut, and it was a really good matchup for him on paper because while he was facing a tough Cubs lineup, it was at Wrigley Field, and it was a spot where the wind was blowing in at Wrigley, and it was really good pitcher-friendly weather in that situation. So he went 7 innings, 1 run for a guy that gives up a lot of home runs like Littell, who's given up 27 of them in those 140 innings. Having the wind blow in was really keeping a lot of those fly balls in the yard. He did give up 1 home run, but had 8 strikeouts in those 7 one-run innings in that 5-1 Reds victory. Now, while it's not the same kind of pitcher-friendly weather in this spot at PNC Park, and the Pirates have been a tough home team, we know that their offense is still not great against right-handed pitching. So I still actually like the matchup for Littell, and I think Mike Burrows has proven to be a pretty good option for the Pirates at PNC Park. Now, he struggled mightily in his last game, but he was facing the same Giants lineup in the same week. He faced them on July 30th and then on August 5th. I think now he can bounce back in this spot against a Reds team that has been dreadful against right-handed pitching in the last couple of weeks. I think we go under the total in Reds-Pirates in what has been a rather low-scoring series overall at PNC Park. Next up, the Astros and the Yankees. We've got Colton Gordon and Max Fried as the projected starters. I do think this is a lopsided pitching matchup. I think Gordon is the weakest link in this Astros rotation. While Max Fried may not be as dominant as he was at the very beginning of the season, I still think overall he's a great option for the Yankees in this rotation. I think they pick up a key victory in this one. Give me the Yankees on the money line. Next up, we've got the Marlins and the Braves. We've got Cal Quantrill and Joey Wentz as the starters. Now, Cal Quantrill has been one of the more profitable pitchers in baseball this year, especially as of late. Now, he wasn't great in his last game against the Astros, 7 runs given up in a 7-3 loss. But I still think this is a good matchup for him against a Braves offense that just hasn't been as strong as we expected it to be in 2025. And even if Quantrill struggles a bit, I think the Marlins are going to back him up against Joey Wentz, who I do not think is a viable starting pitching option at the Major League level. Gave up 5 runs in his last game against the Brewers. The Braves have lost his last 4 starts. I'm going to roll with the Marlins and Cal Quantrill on the money line. Next up, we've got the Athletics and the Orioles. We've got Luis Severino and Cade Povich as the starters. Now, we saw the A's just recently do some damage against left-handed starting pitching in the National Series, where Mackenzie Gore, of course, got crushed, and Parker also did not pitch too well in 2 A's victories. And Povich, while he had 7 strikeouts and 5 2/3 in his first start back at the Major League level, gave up 4 runs and a couple of home runs against those Phillies in a 13-3 blowout loss. I'm really not in love with this Orioles offense right now, even though on paper the top half of the lineup isn't too shabby. It's just not really getting a lot of results recently against right-handed pitching especially. Severino's pitched well on the road this year. Severino is in good form overall. Had another quality start in his last game, which was that 16-7 blowout win for the A's against Mackenzie Gore and company. So the A's have won his last 4 starts, and I got to roll with the A's in this one on the money line. Next up, the Angels and the Tigers. We've got Casey Mize and Jack Kohanowitz as the starters. We talked about the regression concerns for Casey Mize at the beginning of the season, where he had at one point a sub-3 ERA, but it's been now a few starts in a row of just not great outings. We saw right before the All-Star break, 3 innings, 6 runs against the Mariners in a 15-7 loss. Then the first start back from the All-Star break, 4 innings, 10 base hits, 5 runs against the Pirates of all teams in an 8-5 loss. Then he only went an inning and 2/3. He had 60 pitches thrown. Now, his lineup was able to back him up in that game, and the bullpen especially. It was a 12-2 blowout win for Detroit. But an inning and 2/3 for Casey Mize, not what you want to see. He's somebody that can go 5-6+ innings when he's on his game. And then his last start against the Twins, it was a quality start on paper, 6 innings, 3 runs, but 3 home runs given up in that game. So he's really not in the best form. I think the Angels will get to him. I certainly think the Tigers can get to Jack Kohanowitz on the other side. So I like the over in Angels-Tigers. Next up, we've got the Guardians and the White Sox. We've got Davis Martin and Slade Cecconi as the starters. Now, Davis Martin, I think, is trending in the right direction in terms of missing more bats, earning some more strikeouts, but he did struggle quite a bit in his last game against the Mariners. 5 earned runs given up, and that was at T-Mobile Park, very pitcher-friendly ballpark. Against the Mariners team, it's really not been great against right-handed pitching as of late. So that's a concern. And, you return home here where you've got better numbers, 3.04 ERA for Martin at Rate Field, but on the other side is the Guardians team that you could argue is playing their best baseball of the season. Slade Cecconi is pitching really well for Cleveland as of late also. He's been great on the road this season with a sub-3 ERA in 41 innings, 41 strikeouts, and the Guardians have won 4 of his last 5 games. So I've got to roll with the Guardians in this one on the money line and maybe even the run line on the road. Next up, we've got the Mets and the Brewers. We've got Quinn Priester and Sean Manaea as the starters. We've talked about how we're playing with house money now with Quinn Priester starts as of late. They've won 12 straight. The Brewers have Quinn Priester starts. He has been, one of the most profitable pitchers in baseball. The Brewers won every start of his in June, every start in July, and that first start of August. 7 innings, 1 run for Priester in a 3-1 Milwaukee victory. Sean Manaea was pitching well, but struggled in his last game. The Mets offense has been dreadful. They've got a great bullpen, but it's tough to go against Priester right now. I can't do it. Give me the Brewers in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Philadelphia Phillies and the Texas Rangers. We've got Zach Wheeler and Patrick Corbin as the starters. Now, it's definitely been a comeback season for Patrick Corbin. I mean, the fact that we're in the middle of August, he's pitched virtually a full season for the Rangers, and he's got a sub-4 ERA. Really impressive stuff for a pitcher that a lot of people had their doubts, would even pitch ever again in the major league level going into 2025, let alone pitch this well. The problem is, Corbin, of course, was a member of the Nationals for the majority of his career, and he faced this Phillies lineup quite a bit in the NL East. And they've got over 200 plate appearances against Corbin in past meetings. They've got great numbers, the Phillies do, against Patrick Corbin. A decent strikeout rate for Corbin, but high walk rate at 13%, a 463 expected slugging percentage, and a 381 xWOBA. And that's a very large sample size, which is the biggest concern for me. I think the Phillies will be able to get to Corbin for a few runs, and he also did not pitch too well in his most recent game. Zach Wheeler was shaky a little bit in his last start against the Tigers, but still earned a ton of strikeouts and missed bats, and he's got great numbers against his current Rangers lineup with a 309 xWOBA and a 26% strikeout rate. So I'm going to roll the Phillies in this one on the run line on the road. Next up, we've got the Washington Nationals taking on the San Francisco Giants. We've got Mackenzie Gore and Justin Verlander as the starters. Now, it may seem crazy to think about backing the Nationals with Mackenzie Gore in his current form, giving up 14 earned runs and 4 home runs his last 2 games. But what I will say, and while you can't excuse those outings, they were miserable starts. They were against the Astros and the A's. The Astros have been, not just this year, but over really the last 5+ years, a really tough lineup for left-handed pitching. And the A's are one of the hottest lineups in baseball against lefties. Now you're pitching at a pitcher-friendly ballpark in Oracle against a Giants lineup that's been dreadful from the beginning of the season against left-handed pitching very consistently, and you're up against a starter in Justin Verlander, who's been one of the least profitable pitchers in baseball. The Giants have lost 8 of his last 9 games. Even when he pitches well, the Giants don't back him up offensively or in the bullpen. I got to roll the Nationals in this one. I think it's a good bounce-back spot for Mackenzie Gore, who's got great numbers against his current Giants lineup with a 37% strikeout rate, a low walk rate, and a 261 xWOBA, while Verlander has actually struggled a bit against his current Nationals lineup with a 347 xWOBA. Give me the Nationals in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Red Sox and the Padres. We've got Brian Bayo and Dylan Cease as the starters. Great pitching matchup in this one. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, close game, but I do trust the Padres a little bit more in the end, especially in the bullpen, and I think Dylan Cease has a little bit more upside to his game. The expected numbers are sharper. He's been able to miss a lot of bats recently. So in a close one, I'm going to back the Padres in this game on the money line. Next up, we'll go to Arizona as the Rockies take on the Diamondbacks. We've got Tanner Gordon and Brandon Pfaadt as the starters. Now, Pfaadt did bounce back in his last game, but he's still been really tough to trust, consistently in this Diamondbacks rotation with an ERA above 5 and expected ERA that's even steeper. But on the other side, Tanner Gordon's also been miserable recently. His last 2, he was actually pitching quite well, but, look at his last 2 games combined. It was a combined 5 2/3 innings of 19 base hit, 13 earned run baseball, 2 home runs to go with it, and only one of those starts was at Coors Field. The other game at Progressive Field against the Guardians, not really a great lineup against lefties, by the way. 3 innings, 8 base hits, 6 earned runs. So I think we see a lot of runs in this one, probably more so by the Diamondbacks, but even I think the Rockies can chip in enough to get us over the total in Rockies-Diamondbacks. Next up, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Seattle Mariners. We've got Adrian Hauser and Brian Wu as the starters. Now, that's the Adrian Hauser I remember from 2024. In his last game, his Rays debut, it was a tough start for Hauser. 5 2/3, 11 base hits, 5 earned runs, and a home run to go with it in a 5-1 Rays loss. And when you're a team like the Rays that has a great bullpen, but not so great lineup, especially the bottom half of that lineup, you can't afford to be giving up those types of runs in a matchup like this against Brian Wu and a tough Mariners bullpen at a pitcher-friendly park. I think the Mariners do enough damage against Hauser early on to win this game in the end. Give me Seattle on the money line. Next up, we've got the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. We've got Eric Lauer and Yoshinobu Yamamoto as the starters. Now, we saw Eric Lauer exercise his Coors Field demons in his last start, going 6 innings of 1-run ball in a stadium that he has historically really struggled in. But give him credit, a 15-1 Blue Jays blowout win was the result for Lauer in that game. But now it doesn't really get a lot easier going on the road against the Dodgers, a lineup that's been good against lefties this year and a lineup that's been able to get to Lauer in previous meetings. In 80 plate appearances against the current Dodgers lineup, the Dodgers have a .472 expected slugging percentage and a low strikeout rate with a low walk rate against Lauer. I think he's in trouble in this game, and I think that Yamamoto will be good enough for the Dodgers to win this game and potentially cover the run line. So give me LA in this one. Next up, we've got the final game for the Sunday card. It's a classic NL Central rivalry between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, 7 p.m. Eastern. Shota Imanaga and Sonny Gray, a great matchup on the mound in this game. Now, Sonny Gray's been great at Busch Stadium this year, but doesn't have the best numbers against his current Cubs lineup, and it's the opposite for Shota Imanaga, who has really pitched really well against St. Louis in the previous meetings. 51 plate appearances against the current Cardinals lineup, 30% strikeout rate, little to no walks, with a 160 average and a 182 expected batting average. So really good numbers there for Imanaga. He's also coming off a really good bounce-back start, where at one point Imanaga was giving up some sharp contact. We saw 7 earned runs against the White Sox on July 25th, but since that game, 11 1/3 innings of 4-run, 15 strikeout baseball, definitely improving those numbers. So I think Imanaga pitches well. I think the Cubs get to Gray. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game that goes under, but I'm going to take the Cubs on the money line as well. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.